This is breaking news now from today's TMJ4.
Welcome to Live at Daybreak at 6:30. We are following breaking news this morning. A major incident has shut down all lanes of I-43 north in downtown Milwaukee after a fiery chemical crash in the Marquette Interchange.
And so we do have team coverage this morning following the crash. Lauren Winfrey and Sean Gallagher are live on the scene this morning. And first we're going to start with our Sean Gallagher, who is right by the crash where crews are starting to clean it up. Sean.
Yeah, Susan and Elise, they are still cleaning it up as we speak, but this crash not as bad as it really looked. But you can take a look behind me right here, a large flatbed on scene trying to remove the remnants of that large construction vehicle that had the chemical on board. And you can see they're actually trying to clean up some of the debris and charred materials that are there as well. But this is really hard to believe that it's not as bad as it looked when you see the video. A car crashed into the back of a construction vehicle just after 3 a.m. The driver of that car able to get out and didn't need any medical treatment, which is pretty miraculous with how fiery this crash looked. Now, initially, firefighters were told a chemical was on the truck. And just to get in the minds of what firefighters had to deal with, semis have a diamond-shaped sign on them, which you may see when you're driving on the freeway. They have a number associated with what's being held on board. That number triggered the hazmat response. Firefighters initially thought it was something much more severe, but after much communication with the construction foreman, they confirmed the chemical on board was a primer used on roads. The chemical they thought they were dealing with was actually on another vehicle. It was not as serious as previously thought, but they exercised an abundance of caution with making sure everyone, firefighters, sheriff's deputies, and the public were out of harm's way. But it was a scary sight early this morning as flames shot into the early morning sky and even some explosions from the crash.
When I had seen the fire explode, I had thought it was like the bridge, but you know, I wasn't too sure, but I had seen, you know, the car had been behind whatever was in that mess. I had seen a car, so I hope whatever was going on with that would be okay, you know.
And back out here live, crews are working extremely quickly, getting the remnants of this construction vehicle onto this flatbed and off of the freeway. And the fire department told us they believed that this crash would be cleaned up by the time morning or rush hour really hit, opening up 43 northbound. But for now, northbound is closed, southbound is open, but from the looks of it, it appears that they are well on their way to making sure this is open just in time for morning rush hour. In downtown Milwaukee, Sean Gallagher, today's TMJ4.
And so for drivers, Sean, who would normally use 43 northbound, are you seeing a lot of traffic in your area as they're just trying to make their way around that mess?
Yeah, as the morning has progressed, I've seen a lot of cars coming up here on 10th Street, which you'll see a couple of cars going by me right now. It seems to be that's where they're diverting traffic to kind of ride alongside 43 before they can get on just a little bit further ahead and continue on their way.
All right, Sean Gallagher live for us downtown. Thanks very much, Sean. And then drivers are being diverted off the freeway while crews try to clean up that mess.
Lauren Winfrey is near the high-rise bridge just south of downtown with that part of that coverage. Good morning, Lauren.
Hey, good morning, Susan and Elise. The good news is things are less of a mess than they were earlier this morning. The bad news is traffic is still stop and go. We are on 9th and Walker, and so we know the Marquette Interchange is reopened in part, except for this area. This is 43 northbound, where traffic is being diverted off at National. And once these cars exit and get to National, things get a little more congested over there, and you're trying to maneuver around construction and also bigger semi trucks that are also being rerouted. So people really have to take their time when they're out here. Now, we do have some viewer video that'll take you right to the scene of that fiery crash. I can only imagine how terrifying it must have been for those people passing by that early this morning on their way to work or going home from wherever they may have been coming from and driving past that. It's incredible video. That video came in from Josh Hadrick and also Chelsea Olsen. But back out here, again, there's traffic is a little congested. You do have to take your time when you're in this area and when you're trying to get to work and wherever you're trying to go. If you are traveling northbound, just know that you're going to have to take your time and prepare accordingly. I'm going to try and step back in front of the camera, but traffic is coming. So I just want to be careful before doing that. And again, there are a number of semis on this road out here this morning, much more than you might see normally, but that's because they're being rerouted. But the good news is, because the Marquette Interchange is open in part, you will be able to hop back on that freeway at some point, but until you get there, you will have to take your time when traveling in this area. Reporting on the south side, Lauren Winfrey, today's TMJ4.
Lauren, you've been at 9th and Walker pretty much all morning. Is traffic starting to slow down now at 6:30 as more drivers are on the road? Because you just spoke about the congestion.
Yeah, it's not really slowing down. It was congested earlier this morning, and now it's becoming even more so because people are waking up, trying to get to work and all of that. So we are seeing a lot more cars exiting off of that ramp and trying to just reroute themselves and get to wherever they're trying to go this morning.
I foresee a lot of people being late to work today. All right, Lauren Winfrey live for us on Milwaukee's South Side. Thanks so much for that perspective today.